Hello, and welcome to
Oh
Jen.
my gosh. Would you do that again twice more? I loved it.
Bob, I was on my radio voice. You messed me up.
No, and Bob makes it really hard for me to edit. I don't know
Yes,
if you guys
Bob.
have noticed, but there's
No
like
interruptions. Bob interruptions in the intros. Bob, silence. Let me do this.
Zip.
Let me work on my voice, my zen. Hello.
I'm
Okay.
just gonna leave all this in. I'm just gonna leave it in and just enjoy the ride.
All right. This is three's the charm. Okay. I'm not going to look at Bob. Hello, and welcome to Gen X, Y, and I, a conversation with three generations of positive people featuring real world Dar, that's me, Millennial Jen,
That's me.
and not so silent Bob.
That's me.
Woo. We'll make you laugh, we'll make you think, and we'll always end on a happy note. In today's episode, we're going to open up with talking about what's the best piece of advice you've ever received.
Ooh, that's heavy.
I know. So we're going to play a little bit of music, and then we'll come back and start chit-chatting. How's that?
That's
That sounds
right.
good?
Yes,
Sounds good.
Bob, you got our first song. You want to tell us about it?
Yeah, it's I try to usually what I try to do is try to pick a 50 song and a 60 song, which is my two generations that I'm trying to represent. So this is a 1950 song, and it's Bill Haley and the Comets, and it is Rock Around the Clock.
Oh, that sounds like fun. All right, 91.9 WMTU.
Song number one.
2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock. Let's go. Going to say hi. We'll have somebody with the clock. Good one. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock, rock, rock. So bright daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock. When the clock strikes 2, 3, and 4, if the band goes down, we'll yell for more. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock, rock, rock.
to keep on because the force it's got a lot of power and it makes me feel like it makes me feel like
It's funny. What you don't know is that I picked Janet Jackson, and then Dar picked Michael Jackson.
I know. We didn't even plan
We
it.
didn't coordinate, but
And then Bob is like, "Who is this, by the way? I know I've heard this. Who is it?" But he says, "What, Bob? What did you say? If you haven't heard this song, what?"
You'd have to be living in a hole in the ground.
yeah.
You
Well,
should know the song, but don't worry about the artist.
if you think about it, like the Jacksons span a lot of generations.
Man.
Because I mean, Michael and the Jackson 5 would have been what? Is that 60s or 70s?
70s for
70s,
sure.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got
Yeah.
70s, 80s, 90s into
2000s,
now. I mean,
20s.
that's
Janet's still making good music.
a lot of years. I know. Do you know I actually wanted to be? She looked for backup dancers on Instagram, and I was real tempted to.
Oh, you should have
To
did
go
it.
for that, but there were like legit dancers and then me, so
Right.
know.
You're
Yeah.
legit. Too legit to quit.
Girl, I was going there, but you beat me to the punch.
All right. So our question today is, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received? Bob?
Oh, you want me to
Or
start?
do you want me to start? Because,
I'll
you
start.
say it's unfair when we
I'll
go
start
after.
this one if you'll start the next one.
Okay. I'll start the next one.
Okay.
That's fine.
Well, I thought about that, and and it was hard to come up with something for me. Partly what was happening
Is that because you're
was
wise?
Well, I
You're-
was I
Oh,
was
okay.
trying to think of what piece of advice did someone tell me, and I couldn't come up with anything that really was like earth shaking. But I've decided that the best piece of advice I ever received was more by example than by words. And my mom passed away at 99 and almost a half.
Wow.
And I watched her as she grew older. And here's the advice. As you grow older, you lose things. You lose your hearing a little bit. You lose she lost her sight almost completely. She could, but she never focused on what she lost.
Wow.
She was always joyous for what she had. And that's what she cared about. And I don't know if I can do it in my life, but I hope that I can. That's an example that I'm trying to aim for.
That is deep.
That is heavy
That
and
is-
powerful.
that- yeah.
Saying 99 and a half is powerful. I mean, to live that long, what a rich life. And
And
yeah.
this is a lady that, never even graduated from high school. She quit at 8th grade.
Hey, that's
And
how
yet-
far my grandma made it. 8th grade. It's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she always thought that she always felt bad because she always thought that she looked down on herself because she was not educated.
Right. But what you said a couple weeks ago is true. Just education doesn't equal knowledge or wisdom. So
Yep.
Yeah.
that's awesome. Gratitude. That is a really important life lesson, I think.
That's awesome. You want me to go?
Sure.
I have two.
What? Okay. No, just kidding. That we will allow it, Dar.
You'll allow two? Okay, the first one is from my friend. I can't say names, but she'll know it when she hears me say it. And I can't really attest to this, but I thought that you all could weigh in on this. And again, it has to do with children. But she said, and I'll never forget this, she told me this probably 20 years ago. She said, if you really want to know how you are, have children.
Oh, wow. For sure.
Jen's
oh,
cracking
wow.
up.
Oh, dang.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow,
she
you
said
bet.
if your personality, your attitude, your quirks, she said if you really want to see how you are, have kids.
Yep. Wow.
Yeah.
As
For
a
sure.
homeschooling parent with
Tell us,
4
Jen.
children right now, I'll tell you, both my husband and I feel it very strongly, and we feel it at different times of our parenting journey. But when we see our kids struggling with weaknesses that we know and recognize, it is really hard to know that you've passed that on. But also at the same time, like when I see my kids being awesome,
Yeah.
it's like it feels amazing. Like we had Jeff's sister staying with us for a while, and she said, "How do you get your kids to be so outgoing and so well spoken?" And it's like, well, thanks. I guess we did that. So there's pros and cons, but it's true. It's like looking in a mirror
Yeah.
when you look at your kids. But that's true.
Do you feel like compelled to try to mitigate some of the things that, because you hear also people say, well, people don't get along if if someone is like them, like, you know, like a relationship or a friendship or something like that? Do you either of you feel like you try to mitigate some of the things that you see in your children that are
sure.
like you?
For sure.
Yeah.
The things that, I mean, basically what I didn't like about what my parents did to me, or I tried to not do that with my kids, as much as I could. I mean, I think almost every child can think back on their parents and think of something I wish they wouldn't have done
Wow, yeah,
to
sure.
me or for me or whatever. I mean, all of us have those feelings. I was shocked to hear my two grown-up, a son and a daughter, we were talking, and they were telling me things that they still remember that I did to them.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember
Were
it.
they good things or not so good
Well, they
things?
didn't like what I did. Embarrassing things.
Oh, gotcha.
Teenage things especially. Sometimes we did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Like,
Dang, Bob.
like when they were hanging out behind McDonald's, we would drive by and yell to my daughter, "Hey, hi, Amy!"
Bobbo.
And we were in an old junker car too. It was called Shitbox. Oops.
Oh,
From hell.
where's the button? I can't. Where's the button? There it is. We call them hoopties, Bob. Just say hoopty.
Okay.
I don't know
oopsie.
that word. I know
You never
when
heard of
Bob
Whoopty?
slipped.
This is our Mix-a-Lot song talking about hoopties. It's a whole
Anyway,
culture.
it was a cruddy car, Bob, and
It
you
was
would
very
embarrass your
cruddy.
kids with your cruddy
Yes.
car.
But it was my daughter's fault that it was a credit car because it was her car, and we let her paint it, and she painted it with a paintbrush.
Bob, you
which is
know
why it
about
was so
telling
terrible
stories
looking.
about your children over the air. You're gonna be in trouble.
Which is funny. At some point, I'm going to tell you the best advice I've been given, and maybe Bob, you can take it to heart in just a minute.
Okay, well, let me get to my
Uh-oh, I
second
know
one so
what
we can get to Jen's. This is a great one. You're going to like this one. And I learned this in ministry school when I was training my pastor's wife. She's a pastor too. So she gave me this advice. She gave the whole class. It wasn't me, but in my we were doing a marriage and family class, and she gave this advice, and I repeat it to myself all the time, and I think it'll be helpful for you all as well as our audience. If you're pleasing God, everyone else who matters will be pleased.
That is very profound.
Yeah. So I've used that and lived that as that my priority is, okay, God, what do you want from me? How, what do you want from my life? What do you want from this day? And focus on that. And then everyone else in my life that matters and align with my values or what's important to me will be pleased.
What's the quote that they had in the Bible about when Jesus was asked out of all the laws, which ones were the most important?
Love.
It was love.
Yeah.
And you personify that.
Oh,
You do.
thanks, Bob.
I know you tried doing that too.
Yeah.
Now I know where all that lovey stuff comes
See,
from.
it's all rooted. It's all rooted from my training and biblical practices. Yeah, that's important. So if you're pleasing God, everyone else who matters will be pleased.
That is lovely.
Yeah. So that's all I got, Jen.
Okay. Well, I was really just being sarcastic earlier about Bob. I mean, it kind of relates, but really it doesn't. Okay. So
I thought it was going to be like, think before you speak or something.
I mean, actually. So, all right. I was trying. So when I heard that question, I was like, darn it. I gave some of my best mom advice in our love episode a while back. And again, like I was trying to think of some advice that wasn't from my mom, but it's all I can think of is mom advice, and it's mostly relationship advice. And I do credit my mom for me still being married because she gave me really good advice before I got married. And this advice works, I think, in any relationship. But my mom said, once you're married, if you and your spouse have an argument or a disagreement, do not run home and tell me about it.
Yes.
She said
that's
that,
good.
yeah, well, she explained that, if I have an argument with my spouse and I come home and I tell her my sob story, all the bad things he said, all the bad things he did, the way he hurt me, then she's going to have to empathize with me. And what I'm doing is I'm painting a negative picture of my husband for my mom.
That's powerful.
And then I go home and I get the opportunity to realize where I made mistakes, things I said and I did that I probably didn't tell my mom about. And then my husband gets to apologize for the things he said and did. We get to work on solutions together and have a really nice resolution that my mom doesn't get to be a part of, right? And that works for anyone. Anytime we have an argument or a disagreement, when we go and tell someone else about that isn't involved in it, we're painting a picture of the person. And we can you can ruin people's reputations, you can ruin their character. So my mom, she taught me that, and so I've always been cognizant of that. So I don't air my dirty laundry, I guess, was how some people would put it with my spouse. I do have one friend that I have permission to tell anything and everything to, and that's my best friend. And she has the same permission from her spouse.
That's
and so
good.
I'll tell you though, I do not like her husband and she does not like mine, because we hear all the bad and not a lot of the good. So
Okay, interesting.
yeah, it's good advice. I think that hopefully, everyone gets to see my husband for the good dude he is, and even a boss or a friend, you can use that advice for any argument. You keep it between yourselves, right?
Yeah,
So-
I like that. And I think the other piece of that is that, you resolve whatever that issue is with your partner, but then mom can still be mad about it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you're over it and things are good with you and Jeff. And then, whoever else, those outside people, they're still, like you said, with your best friend, they're still steaming and like, I can't believe, And so I
Yeah.
think that
How
even-
could you forgive him?
Yeah,
Well, what you don't
exactly.
know is what I said that it triggered that. And, I've done it with my bosses too. If I get in an
Yeah.
argument with my boss and then I run home and tell my husband, then he's thinking my boss is is the bad person in this argument, when really I could have started it, or maybe my boss was having a bad day. You just don't know. So I do try to be really cautious. And I'm not perfect by any means. You know me. I love to vent and I love
Yeah.
to tell
Yeah.
stories, but I don't know, just be mindful, I guess.
That wouldn't have worked for us, I think, my wife and I, because my mother-in-law.
Here he goes.
My
Aaron
mother-in-law,
Dirty.
she loved me.
Oh,
So
okay.
I think she would have believed me rather than.
Oh my gosh, Bob, you are on the couch tonight.
Oh, Bob.
Oh, Bob, there he goes again.
Your mother-in-law. Did your mother-in-law like you better than Carol?
Probably not better, but she liked me a lot.
Who wouldn't like you though, Bob? Who wouldn't like you? What mom wouldn't be like, honey, I like that boy, Bob? Actually, can I just say right now, I haven't met a Bob I didn't like. I'm just
Oh.
gonna say, that's stereotyping, but
But
I
this
know-
is the best Bob you've met.
my grandpa was a Bob, so they can
Oh.
tie. How's
They can
that?
tie.
Cool.
Yeah. That's good.
Tie with my grandpa.
Bob is, his humility is just taking over the whole room today.
You mean his head? Just kidding. Just kidding. Oh, that's
Very good. It sounds like we've all gotten some really powerful advice.
Okay, I have one more because you cheated and kind of
Okay,
said too.
let's
Okay,
go.
this is recent. So during the pandemic, I was kind of struggling with disagreeing with people, and a good friend of mine who I used to work with, she called me up, and I was telling her, "Oh, I'm just having a hard time. People that I really love, we're disagreeing about some certain things, and it's causing some contention, and I don't like it." And she said every decade or so, she goes through her friends and she puts them in a filter.
Wow.
And if if you don't align, if your values and your beliefs don't align, it's not a bad thing to, part ways with people that might make you, they might have changed and you might have changed. And so even though you'd love to keep friends forever and ever and ever, you keep the ones in your pocket that really build you up and support you. And I loved that advice. I'll
Yeah.
tell you, I use it like almost every day now. Like if someone doesn't bring you joy and lift you up and make you a better person, if they're tearing you down or,
Right.
hurting your heart all the time, then
Yeah.
filter those out,
And I
This
think you grow out of people too.
Yeah.
And people grow out of us. It's,
yes.
it's two ways. And you hear people say reasons and seasons. So some people come in for reasons or certain seasons of your life. And certainly we're different people than we were 10 years ago or 20 years ago. So
Right.
that's
Yeah,
really
this
powerful.
is sort of tangent to what we're talking about. It's not really advice, but I noticed one thing in my own experience with my marriage is that where we used to live, we both knew people, good friends. And when there were little things that were going on between us, when you live with another person, there's little aggravations.
Right.
It's the little stuff. We were able to talk. I had some guy friends. She had some lady friends. And we would kind of get rid of that. And then we didn't have to deal with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Then when we moved up here, we knew no one. Had nobody to talk to. And we had to go ahead and learn another way of operating with each other. And the other problem is it was very difficult for us to talk to each other because we were living in an apartment building, one that I managed for the university. And so we couldn't talk there. And we had 2 little kids. I mean, we literally had to go in the car, put the kids in the car in the back seat, and we had to talk it out while we were driving.
Wow.
So, but that was probably one of the rough spots in our marriage in terms of we find out the more you talk to each other and get those little things worked out, the better you are.
Yeah, that's a good point. So you shouldn't. We don't gotta drop people like a
Exactly.
hot rock or whatever. But if you can work through it, if you can communicate through it, then you should.
Right.
But if you can't, then sometimes it's better to
Part
let
ways.
it go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point, Bob. So many good points.
This is good. Well, we're
So
going to
good.
go ahead and play a WMT liner. And then, Bob, you want to go ahead and introduce our next song?
Yes. I said earlier that I usually try to play in 1950s and the 60s. Well, I'm going to change that rule today.
Ooh.
Spicy. A couple weeks ago, I said something about bluegrass was okay to play because it started in 1945, which is like right on the cusp. So this is, I guess you would call it newgrass, sort of. It's not really old bluegrass. It's by the Gibson Brothers. And I told Dar a while back that this was my theme song. It's called what's it called?
The darker the night, the better I see.
That's it. Yes.
Very good. All
Theme
right.
song. We're getting Bob's
Yes,
theme
I'm
song.
a late night person, and
he
that's
doesn't
why
remember
this
the
is.
name of his theme song, but he knows
Well, I
that
just had this, senior moment.
Oh, I hear you. All right.
All
So,
right.
liner and tell me when to hit play.
I will. You're listening to 91.9 WMTU.
My life's so boring. I wish I could work for a super cool radio station.
Well, you can. WMTU General Staff meetings are at 6 p.m. in the WMTU Lounge, on the other side of Wads from the cave. Just look for the big glass doors with the ape. They're open to the public, and if you want to help run the radio station, that's the first step.
Aw, cool. But what if I just want to DJ some sick tunes, man?
To become a DJ for WMTU, send an email to the broadcast supervisor at wmtu-bs@mtu.edu. Then request a show slot and to be trained in on our equipment. Anyone can be a DJ. A student, faculty, whatever.
Oh boy, I can't wait.
It's lit, fam.
I've honky-tonk most all my life. My day begins at the edge of night. I stay up late, it don't bother me. The darker the night, the darker the night, the better I see. The lights I love are the lights of town. I thank the Lord above when the sun goes down. Find a shady spot, and that's where I'll be. Because the darker the night, the darker the night, the better I see. My hit parade has about 3 chords, but I guarantee that you won't get bored. It starts getting good about 2:45. The darker the night, the darker the night, the better I see. The lights I love are the lights of town. I thank the Lord above sun goes down. Find a shady spot, and that's where I'll be. Because the darker the night, the darker the night, the better I see. I rest my case at the break of day. What some call work, brother, I call play. I once was blind, but now I'm free. The darker the night, the darker the night, the better I see. The lights I love are the lights of town. I thank the Lord above when the sun goes down. I find a shady spot, and that's where I'll be. Because the darker the night, the darker the night, the better I see. You heard me right, the darker the night, the better I see.
Baby squirrel, use a sexy motherfucker.
Give me your attention, baby. I gotta tell you a little something about yourself. You're wonderful, flawless, ooh, you a sexy lady. But you walk around here like you wanna be someone else. Ooh, whoa. I know that you don't know it, but you're fine, so fine. Fine, so fine. Ooh, whoa. Oh, girl, I'm gonna show you when you're mine, oh, mine. Mine, oh, mine. Treasure, that is what you are. Honey, you're my golden star. You know you can make my wish come true. If you let me treasure you. If you let me treasure you. Oh, oh. Pretty girl, you should be smiling. A girl like you should never look so blue. You're everything I see in my dreams. I wouldn't say that to you if it wasn't true. Ooh, whoa. I know that you don't know it, but you're fine, so fine. Fine, so fine. Ooh, whoa. Oh, girl, I'm gonna show you when you're mine, oh, mine. Mine, oh, mine. Treasure, that is what you are. Honey, you're my golden star. You know you can make my wish come true. If you let me treasure you. If you let me treasure you. Oh, oh. You are my treasure. You are my treasure. You are my treasure. Yeah, you are my treasure. You are my treasure. You are my treasure. Yeah, you are treasure. Treasure. You are my treasure. You are my treasure. Honey, you're my golden star. You are my treasure. You know you can make my treasure come true. You are my treasure. If you let me treasure you. You are my treasure. If you let me treasure you. Oh, oh.
Dun, dun, dun. Y'all know I love Bruno.
Do we?
You better know it.
If we don't hear it every week, I don't know what we hear.
I skip a week.
Bruno and Michael. Michael and Bruno. I think we know what Dar likes to listen to.
Hey, I'm an R&B baby. I'm an R&B
I'm
baby.
not
Don't judge
complaining.
me. You just
I
sound like
do.
you're
I oughta
judging me,
I ought to
Jen.
play some
No.
R&B from the 50s and 60s.
Okay, let's have it, Bob,
Yeah,
so that I can break the monotony of Bruno and Michael.
I'll do
Nah.
that next week.
Our 5 listeners really probably love Bruno and Michael, because who doesn't love Bruno and Michael?
Yeah, or we just force feed them.
You will like these.
You will, yes. So our next question, or our question for the day
Thank you.
is, what's something in life that you have an appreciation for that most people don't? Something in life that you have an appreciation for that most people don't. And I'm going first because Bob told me I had to. And I have several, but I'm just going to say 2. I'm cheating again. It's okay. It's quick. It's quick. These are quick ones. 1, this is childhood, was commercial jingles.
Oh, I love commercial jingles.
I was a commercial jingle fanatic. And I would watch them and listen to them and I would say the words as all the commercials was coming on. I love commercial jingles.
You brought us some samples, I hope.
Let me think.
Jelloo.
Oh.
We were in the same
Or
key.
2 all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickle, onion on the sesame seed bun.
Oh, my gosh. She's got it
I
down.
told
okay,
you.
Okay, we're playing a game. What's the Toys R Us one?
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
Nice.
I got the mothers and the fights, 2 trains, and video games. It's the biggest toy store there is. Gee whiz, I don't want to grow up, because baby, if I did, I wouldn't be a Toys R Us kid.
Awesome. You win. I didn't know we were playing games today, but I really enjoyed that one. I'm trying to think of other jingles I could quiz you on, but anyway, I digress.
Snap, Crackle, and Pop. That was the cereal.
Rice Krispies.
Rice
Cereal,
Krispies.
sure.
Rice Krispies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rice Krispies
So I was a commercial jingle fanatic, and I still love like Super Bowl commercials. I don't need to watch the Super Bowl. I'm watching commercials. But I was really, really into it as a kid. So that's one that I have an appreciation for. And the other one, yeah, I'm not ready for it, but here it is. I have a perfume fetish.
Wow, for real.
Yeah, right now, and I brought pictures so that I have proof, because I don't know if you all will believe me.
You'll have to post them on Facebook.
Yeah, I have right now a dozen scents on my dresser drawer, on my dresser, of perfume.
Okay, 1 jar of perfume lasts for like 25
I know.
years.
Well, sorta, not really.
What
But
scent do you
12.
have on today?
You know, I can see the bottle, but I can't remember. I'll think about it if I can remember.
Okay.
But yeah,
And are you talking about like expensive, like
It
designer
varies.
celebrity perfumes, or are you talking about the perfume aisle in Walgreens?
Did you buy any
Walgreens
when
has
you
good
were in
stuff.
Europe?
I did. I bought some. The last I think is when I went to Middle East.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is there a certain scent that you know you're attracted to? Like, is there something?
My
in-
favorite, the one that works the best with my body chemistry, is Burberry.
Burberry.
Original, but I got like about 4 different versions of Burberry.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
So-
see, I'm over here and I only do vanilla. Is there any surprise that I buy vanilla body spray, vanilla body wash, and vanilla perfume?
You ever use actual vanilla?
Should I just rub it all over?
Bobble,
Did we just make that weird?
that just went left.
Can I tell you? And even like, I do use a lot of vanilla flavor in my hot cocoa.
Wait a minute, let's back up. Because I'm trying to
We're all moving on. We're all moving.
I'm trying to understand Bob's original question.
Do I have to just rub it? I can't even remember. I was trying not to like point anything weird out. Darn. Oh, shoot.
I'm sorry. Bob, what did you mean?
Well, she said vanilla. That's the first thing that came to my mind is, vanilla, you bake with it.
In my head, when you said that, I was thinking of like actual like vanilla
Applying it.
beans, like the I don't know. Like I'm gonna rub vanilla bean all over my wrists and my neck, where perfume would go. Dar is losing it, y'all. Dar has lost her mind in here. She is
Vanilla beans.
She's
All right, I'm done.
vanilla is a bean, right? That's where my scent comes from, isn't it?
Ooh, what's that you have on? Vanilla bean.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, you guys, I just realized we're getting a puppy, and we even named it Vanilla.
Wow.
Vanilla Bean is our
That
puppy's
should be the
name.
puppy's middle name. Bean.
Yeah, I think it is. Vanilla, or I can't remember.
When's the puppy coming?
September 29th-ish.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, sorry, oopsie, tangent. But perfume, huh? You love
Yeah,
perfume, and you like to smell good.
Yeah, it's 12 cents right now. And then I have 2 unopened in the bathroom. Those are to come. They're in the queue.
I have a hard time with perfume. Do you like? I mean, I have to like really love it to wear it.
Yeah, and I've had some that just kind of repulsed me. Like it just didn't work. It's all body chemistry though.
Do you keep them or do you chuck them if you don't like them? Or you give
I
them
have
away?
thrown perfume bottles
Yeah.
away.
Oh, I'm
yeah, I
with ya.
just can't do it. Like I just like kind of. Yeah.
I just use deodorant.
Oh, that helps. That's helpful. Yep.
My baby has learned how to like take the lid off my deodorant, and she loves to put it on her face. So my baby
wow.
smells like fresh scent all the time.
The whole house is fresh scent and vanilla bean.
Yeah, we're dynamic. You're over there with some berry I've never heard of, and I'm like
Some
fresh
berry.
scent vanilla. All right. Okay.
If I were
cool.
younger, I'd use men's perfume or something.
Men's
I
perfume?
did.
Not men's cologne.
Cologne, I guess it's called.
Okay, yeah, cologne.
I wish my husband would wear cologne. Like I
Aw.
always loved a good
Smelling man.
cologne.
Have you ever
yes,
noticed that when you walk
important.
by a bunch of young men, they usually have a lot of cologne on? I guess they're trying to attract
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, I had a school teacher that was allergic to perfume, so I wasn't allowed to wear it in elementary school. Well, who wears it in elementary school? But I thought that was interesting. I didn't
Yeah.
realize some people can be very allergic to it.
Yeah.
so.
I have to think about that, but this never stopped me before.
And what's your perfume when you put it on? What is your style of applying perfume? Do you?
Okay, so yep, it goes on both what are these wrists?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It goes on both wrists and then the back of my ears.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's typically the spots. Those are the spots.
Interesting. Well, I'm glad you have an appreciation for that. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
My grandma was an Avon lady, so I got to smell lots of
Really?
it.
I have some
Yeah.
Avon scents that I love too. So yeah.
Far and Away or something was my favorite. Okay. Anyway, all right. I digress. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing, Dar.
Sure.
I didn't go that direction with this question. I feel a little silly now, but my thing that I appreciate that maybe a lot of people don't is I love a full range of emotion.
Ah.
So my husband is always like, "Oh, I just want you to be content. And he just really likes to be content, and I don't. I love to feel like a huge gamut of emotion. I love all of the emotions from the highest high to the lowest lows. Like I don't want to be happy all the time. I like to be sad sometimes because then I'm grateful for being happy, and I like to be angry sometimes because then I'm grateful to be like not angry. Like I don't know. I just like to feel things. And my favorite author, Brene Brown, says you can't numb the bad emotions without numbing the good ones.
Well, that's
Oh,
true.
that's
So,
great.
That's
Yeah,
true.
so if you're
Good
always
point.
trying to like numb all the bad feelings, you're numbing all the good ones too. So you can't experience a full range of joy if you don't let yourself experience a full range of sadness. So I like really appreciate emotion. So that was weird, but you do your jingles. I will do.
I have my
I
jingles over
should
here.
have thought harder on this
No,
one.
I love it though. I love that
Okay,
perspective. I
okay.
think that's powerful. I think it's great. It's a great add on to our conversation today.
And Bob, where did you go with the question?
I went into a completely different direction.
Okay,
Really, I
let's hear
can't
it.
believe it.
I was trying to think of what is it that I like that other people don't like? And mostly it has to do with food.
Huh.
So I like weird foods. I even like trying weird foods. I've tried ants, caterpillars, grasshoppers. I mean, matter of fact, I got special points when I was in high school, extra credit for eating one of every flavor.
Of what?
Oh, well, then she had grasshoppers there. She had caterpillars.
Were they jelly beans or what?
No, these were real.
So no, did she? And by she, I'm assuming you mean a teacher.
teacher,
Did
my
she go
biology teacher.
outside and pluck them
No,
from
no,
the
no.
dirt, or
These
she
were-
ordered them from a different country?
She bought
or?
cans of this stuff. You can buy it at some of these weird stores, I guess. I don't know where you buy stuff like that, but she bought them. She, opened the cans, and if we had a chance to taste it. If we did, we got extra credit.
And were
Wow.
you the
I didn't-
minority in trying
The only thing I
things?
liked, that I really liked, is I liked basically octopus. The only thing I don't like, I like octopus. It's chewy. I like chewy stuff. The only thing I didn't like about the octopus, like you can buy it locally. You could buy it in a can. People like calamari, but it's just because he gave it a fancy name. It's actually squid.
Yeah,
And
calamari, yeah.
frankly, the only thing I don't like about it when you open those cans, I used to make octopus sandwiches.
Oh my gosh!
Shut
I
up,
can't
Bob.
even.
The only thing I didn't like is that they have like little suction cups on them.
I can't. I'm
That
done
kind
with
of
Bob
bothered me
right
a
now.
little
Okay.
bit, but I ate them anyway.
No.
And then
I
the other thing
can't.
is, I was raised on something that you probably wouldn't
Spam.
like. No, it's called tripe, and the tripe is the lining of a cow's stomach. And matter of fact, it's different cultures have it. Mine was Polish. That came from the Polish culture. It was tripe soup, and I learned to love it as I was a kid. Of course, if you're Mexican, it's called menudo, and that's also tripe soup. It's spicier. I love it too, by the way. So I like tripe soup. I like gizzards. I like hearts. I like all kinds of weird
Liver
things like
and onions?
that. One time we
I
had,
grew up on liver and
Did
onions.
you? I've
yes.
never had it.
one time
Oh,
to
yeah.
gross out a friend, we were down in Louisiana, and so we bought pickled pig's lips.
Pickled pig what?
Lips. And we brought those back, and we wanted to see what would happen, so it was a little present. And it was one of the funniest things to watch them open it up. They were trying to be gracious about it because these are really nice people who never would say anything. They thought it was a real, genuine gift.
Oh.
And you should see them opening it
Wow,
up and trying
Bob.
to eat it.
Did you eat the pickled pig lips?
Of course.
Oh my gosh,
was
no.
good.
You're right, Bob. You win because I do not. I do not have any desire. I remember I was in Taiwan. I lived there for a year and a half, and we were visiting someone's home, and they said, "Oh, we have ordered pizza." And I thought, hallelujah, I would give anything for a little pepperoni slice right now. And they open up the pizza, and there is octopus, squid, like you name it,
Yeah.
seafood pizza with the
Yum.
all the bits and pieces.
Oh
and
my! That's something I never thought about putting on pizza.
Oh my! Well, in Taiwan they do, and I just thought, no, you have ruined pizza. you had my hopes up, but hey, I got to feel a full range of emotions. So
So your life
high
is
to low.
fulfilled.
So I guess that, and I have a story, but yeah, when they opened the box, I was like, that is octopus pizza. I'm good, thank you so much. I may be scraping off the toppings.
Yeah, I claim to be a foodie, but I'm not extreme like Bob. And I remember one time this is my up with people years of traveling, and I was with a host family, and I was in a very exquisite house, and they took me to a very exquisite French expensive restaurant, and I could not read anything on the menu, and so of course they kind of helped me order for me, and it was like a full fish, like
Oh, with eyeballs and everything.
yeah, and it was just pickled. It wasn't cooked or anything.
Oh.
Cha.
No,
Oh
thank
yeah.
you.
And
I
Have you
was-
ever had fish served with eyeball on it?
No, but I eat raw fish all the time. It's called pickle herring.
Yeah,
Which
I
I
couldn't
love.
do it. I was
No.
trying, but I couldn't offend them. So I had to just try to take gulps of it and not chew. I just tried to do anything so that when you're in that situation, by traveling, you all know or probably have heard that you can't offend.
Yes.
And so you're
Right.
in that situation, and I had to take some bites and just not taste it, just put it in my mouth and swallow it.
Oh, well,
my
Bob,
gosh.
yeah, that is awesome. You are awesome that you can appreciate foods from different cultures and different animal body parts that the most of us would just throw away.
I will try anything once.
That
Yeah.
is a
Just
great
about.
philosophy, I guess. I guess.
Ah.
Would you do that fish that could potentially kill you if it wasn't prepared properly?
If it was properly prepared properly.
I can't think of what the name of the fish is.
I know
just
what you're
remember
talking
watching
about.
it on a Simpsons episode
Yeah.
as a kid.
They
Some
serve it
special
in
type
Japan,
of,
don't they?
Yes, they
Yes.
do. Yes.
Yeah.
Very
Interesting.
Well, thank you all for listening to the show today. If you want to get in touch with us, there's a couple ways that you can do it. You can give us a call or text at 313-437-2959 or email us at genxyandi@gmail.com. You can also follow us on YouTube, Gen X, Y, and I, Facebook, Gen X, Y, and I, Twitter, and Instagram. Or listen to us live every Wednesday at 5 p.m. online at WMTU.FM or locally in Houghton at 91.9 FM. We also have podcast places to catch us. Audio Boom, Apple too, but Audio Boom, you can find us there, Gen X, Y, and I. We thank you for listening, and we look forward to chatting with you next time.
Yep.
All
All
right.
right.
Bye.
Well, we're going to close the show. Yes. Go here. We're going to close the show with This Is Us from The Greatest Showman because, you know, this show, this is us. We be real. We be real. Oh, yeah. You know what? I'm a hot mess today, y'all. I'm lucky I showed up. All right. Our last song is This Is Me from The Greatest Showman. And action. You want me to hit play or something? Wait, it's this one. It's already on.
I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send the blood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. Another round of bullets hits my skin. I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown a mind. This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be. This is me.